What was the setup to that moment?
He just talked all kinds of like he's shaking my hand and just saying, I don't remember what he said, but it's definitely he was really trying to provoke me because he wanted to make sure I was going to lay in that headbutt. Little did he know I was already planning on laying it in because I had worked for him for 2 years at that point. I wasn't going to miss that chance, So I did.
Kevin Owens, like, oh, little did he know, he have to talk to me. I was gonna headbutt this as hard as I could. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back at again with another video. So we're gonna check out Kevin Owens on the Chris Van Vliet podcast. He recently just did an episode, and I definitely wanted to check out parts of it. I'm not gonna check out the whole thing. I'm gonna link down the original video so that way you can go check out the entire podcast or the entire episode on your own. It's over an hour long, so definitely go check it out. I'm definitely going to after this video, but he does have different chapters already set up, and the one I wanted to check out is obviously Kevin Owens talking about him main eventing WrestleMania 39 with Sami Zayn, which was a great moment, and also that infamous scene with Kevin Owens giving Vince McMahon the headbutt. You guys remember that? I think it was to set up a match between Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon at the time. But the fact that Vince, who we didn't really see on television much, was willing to let Kevin Owens headbutt him and legitimately bust him open was actually kind of a crazy moment. So he's going to talk about that. And like I said, I'm going to link down the original video. That way y'all can check out the entire episode in its full on Chris Van Vliet's channel, man. Definitely looking forward to watching the rest of this. But let's check this out and see what Kevin Owens has to say, man, about what I just talked about.
Like, even me and Sammy winning the tag titles at WrestleMania was unbelievable in
Great
the main
moment.
event. Which is great now because, WrestleMania main event night one, it's always been, there's a lot of people that argue like it's not really the main event.
Yeah.
But now that Punk's in it this year, everyone says it is the main event because you don't want to take that away from them. So now it finally validates that, yeah, we've main evented WrestleMania.
We've got two of them.
Yeah, and initially when they first started doing the two-night format, initially I was like, most likely night two, I'm going to consider that the real main event. But as the years went by, the matches that would be on last, for the most part, felt like a main event. And for me, WrestleMania 39, the tag team match between the Usos and Sammy and Kevin Owens, that felt like a main event, and it was a main event in my eyes. So
yeah. So anyway, winning the titles at WrestleMania together was insane, like crazy. Like, we were talking about this stuff when, like, our dream would be, hey, let's win the Ring of Honor tag titles. Like, we were talking about this in like 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And then we never even really talked about winning the WWE tag titles because we're not going to be in WWE, are we? No, we are. And then we started talking, man, we got to team and win the tag titles. And then we teamed for a little bit in 2018, but then we went our separate ways. So we're like, we didn't even win the tag titles. And we kind of thought, well, I guess that's it. But then the story started to shift with him and the Usos and stuff. And anyway, all the pieces fell into place, and we won the tag titles at WrestleMania. As incredible and kind of unlikely as that moment was, it still wasn't as unlikely as Stone Cold coming back 19 years later for a match. So,
and that was awesome too. He was part of that main event too, the year prior, which is Kevin Owens. Even though he hasn't really been, a world champion in a few years, he's had some great moments and great storylines. He's been in the main event scene, even though he hasn't really won the title in a while. So that's the interesting thing about Kevin Owens' career in WWE. He's been in great stories, great feuds. Sometimes most of the time, he's the best part of those feuds. And I mean, he was able to wrestle Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 38. Main event, I believe that was night one. Then he was able to backdoor and then main event night two with his good friend Sami Zayn to dethrone the Usos. He's had a pretty good run.
To this day, that match with Steve will always be, and like I said, I don't think anything will top it, the craziest night of my career.
That's
awesome.
Quite a few times that he was stiffing you in that match.
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel like he was?
Yeah. Yeah, he actually the night after, like the night of the match, after when I got back to my hotel, my earlobe was swollen like this big,
Wow.
and I went because from his punches,
Yeah.
and I went, and it just splattered against the mirror. Oh yeah, yeah, he was, and he kept saying, he's like, "You didn't give me any receipts." I'm like, what am I gonna do? Slap the shit out of Stone Cold. But honestly, in that moment too, like, I felt the punches, but there weren't any worse than anything I felt before, you know? So but to him, that shows how much of a pro he is. Like, you know, Brett has always prided himself on how he's never hurt anyone.
Mm-hmm.
You could barely feel him in the ring and stuff. And that's amazing. And I think Steve was the same way, you know? So he prided himself on not killing people. Mm-hmm. And that night he knew he was killing me. But to me, you know, it's not any worse than other guys.
It's fucking Stone Cold too. It's one of the greatest to ever do it. And that was so. I remember I was very apprehensive of Stone Cold actually wrestling because I just wasn't sure. I'm be honest, I was not sure. I was happy he was going to be around, but I was not sure how this was going to play out. Not going to lie to you, that exceeded every expectation I had. It was just fun. It is a fun nostalgia trip, and Kevin Owens was he was the perfect partner, the perfect dance partner for this. And then we also got the infamous horrible Stone Cold stunner, Vince McMahon receiving the stunner from Stone Cold that year. That was awful. But outside of that, man, this was just such an iconic moment for Kevin Owens and just us fans.
So, yeah.
What kind of stunner cell do you like the best? Because we've seen just a litany of ways to take the stunner.
Some guys just go overboard, which I think ends up making the stunner itself look terrible. Like, I've seen guys do like standing moonsaults on it, and I find that so dumb. Well, I've had to tell a guy, do not standing moonsault on my stunner, please. You did it the other week, and it's stupid. But, you know, Scott Hall had this amazing cell that people still remember.
Yep, love his. He just, obviously The Rock having some great ones too.
And now Austin Theory.
Is
it's so over the top, but somehow he nails it. The timing is perfect. The way he does it is perfect. So I love those kinds of sell, but I like a good just like dropping and you just kind of see the guy's head go like, you know.
Like a Kurt Angle cell.
Yeah,
It's
or
very like a
Shane
natural.
actually. I think Shane always took a really good stunner. And one of the most underrated stunners, I think, was Jerry Lawler. When Steve, I don't know if it was the only time he hit it on him, but Steve's reading like a paper, is in 97, I believe, that, you know, maybe Vince sent him or whatever. And like Jerry's trying to read over his shoulder and Steve just stuns him. And man, Jerry, like, I don't know. It just, it's really good. Yeah.
I always loved the Santino cell. He would
Yeah. That's,
I remember that. That nigga Santino, he got hit by, he hit the, Santino had some funny moments, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. Santino had some fucking funny moments.
it's pretty good. Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of different ones. I like I said, I don't like the ones that are more about trying to make people go, whoa, did you see how he sold it?
Yeah.
Trying to make the move look good.
Yeah.
And I think Theory actually has a perfect, everyone goes, holy shit, did you see that? But it makes it, he still manages to make the move look good.
He
Not
goes
just his reaction.
Goes like 14 feet in the air.
He's got some very impressive vertical leaps.
Yeah, he's very
When you talk
athletic.
about wrestling being about moments, I couldn't believe watching that segment where you headbutted Vince McMahon.
Right here. This was one of the craziest moments, I think, in Kevin Owens' career, personally, for me, because this is Vince that's not a regular on television. He's much older. You know, a young Vince, sure. An old Vince doing this was crazy.
Because there's nothing fake about that.
No.
What was the setup to that moment?
He just talked all kinds of shit. Like he's shaking my hand and just saying, I don't remember what he said, but it's definitely he was really trying to provoke me because he wanted to make sure I was going to lay in that headbutt.
Oh, shit.
Little did he know I was already planning on laying it in because I had worked for him for 2 years at that point. I wasn't going to miss that chance, you know? So I did.
Kevin Owens, like, Oh, little did he know, he have to talk shit to me. I was gonna headbutt this motherfucker as hard as I could. That's the one thing about Vince, bro. He gonna do whatever he can to make some fucking money. Even while he's talking, man, I can only imagine what he was saying to Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens was like, you ain't have to say a single word. I'm gonna hurt you. Pow!
There's nothing fake about that.
Oh my God.
What was
bro.
the setup to that moment?
He just talked all kinds of shit. Like he's shaking my hand and just saying, I don't remember what he said, but it's definitely he was really trying to provoke me because he wanted to make sure I was going to lay in that headbutt. Little did he know I was already planning on laying it in because I had worked for him for 2 years at that point. I wasn't going to miss that chance, you know? So I did. And yeah, it was a pretty insane moment. When he came up with the blood and everything, I was like, whoa, here we go.
Here we go.
But my favorite part of that whole thing was after. It's a moment that was only seen, I don't think it was on TV, maybe only caught by digital. As everybody's standing to Vince, I'm walking to the back and I turn around to look at the ring. I'm just looking at the ring and I hear kind of like a rumble in the crowd. And I go to turn. And as I turn, Stephanie's right there in my face.
Oh.
And she's looking at me. She looks furious.
Oh.
And she just looks at me and goes, get the fuck to the back.
Oh.
And I go, okay.
Oh, damn.
Turn around and I left. I really like that. I really like Stephanie a lot. She's been such a great, like, just, she's been so supportive of not just me, but everybody. Like, you know, when Hunter was running NXT and we all got there at the same time, like a lot of us, like my crop of NXT guys, like, you know, me, Sammy, Finn, Bailey, Becky, you know, that crew, Charlotte, Stephanie would be at the NXT shows quite a bit, you know, and she was just always so supportive and so just proud of us. And yeah, it was great. It's like that whole generation of NXT, man, was so special, not just because of the talent there, but the support we had from all the trainers to, you know, like Dusty, Hunter, and Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
They really felt like we were, to a degree, like kind of their kids, and they were trying to like get us out into the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was, you know, they were part of the next generation of WWE stars, and a lot of them, you know, ended up being world champions in the main event scene. They were the next generation up, and you know, we saw a lot of good things that came from that group of individuals from NXT. But this was definitely dope, man. I'm going to recommend y'all go check out the full entire interview. That way, you know, you guys can see what else Kevin Owens has to say. I know I definitely plan on checking it out as well. But comment down below, let me know some other wrestling related videos y'all want me to check out. I definitely will. Appreciate all love, support. Road to 150K, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.